Right. Checking audio. Checking audio. Do I look stretched? Do I look stretched to you? There you go. I've got audio on there. Nice. I'm going to. I've just jumped on, so please excuse the erratic nature of such a thing. But I'm just going to jump into straight away the Gemini CLI, which was accidentally released, and then I think they just freaked out and then thought, "Oh, I might as well just release it," because this blog post was taken down, and now it's here. Just double check we are indeed. Yes, we are. Come say hello on YouTube if you're on YouTube. But let's quickly install this. Okay, so the plan is today. Yesterday was a little bit of a disaster, but not really. I tried learning Taskmaster, and it didn't go well for me. So we're going to pick that back up again because I think I've kind of got it now. We'll do it again and see how we get on. But let's see the Gemini CLI thing. So I'm guessing this is the same as what do you call it? Codex. This is the same, not Codex actually, more so Claude Code, if anything. I want to make sure that can I edit anything? No, I can't. Okay, never mind. But using Gemini. So, and I have a pro account to Gemini thinking about it. So it could be that this is actually a much cheaper option for me. Let's have a look. Is that good for you? Is that good for me? Can we show comments on stage? No, it's just going to cover my face in it. All right, cool. Terminals, Ubiquity, Portable. Funnily enough, let's start closing some of this junk down. Funnily enough, I just downloaded Warp today, which is a command line plus chatbot thing. It's basically where you control your computer from, and it also has the agentic coding mode, which uses Claude for Sonnet and all the rest of it, which is really interesting. And it can kind of auto detect whether you're doing some code, like, I don't know, go to Jupyter, CD Jupyter backend. Is it going to pick it up for me? But here we go. There it is. And it's going to pick up whether you're doing like commands and whatever. But then I can say, how big is the sun? And it will know that that's a chat-esque question and just do it for me. And you can just live in here. And I can also just work on my code and just flip between. It's mental. Warp. I have a link, actually. I just wrote a tweet about it. I have a link to, where are we going now? Let's go to my profile. It is here. This tweet, please. If you're interested, go use that link. Could do with. Let's see if this works. Actually, I'm going to post a comment. See if this posts to Twitter and YouTube. So I've seen it post to YouTube. Let's see if it goes to Twitter, because this is quite a nice little thing to test out. I never know how to check out my streams on Twitter. Comment. Yeah, literally no idea. Twitter is such a rubbish platform to stream from. I'll just say live chat. Anyway, whatever. Point is, Warp looked interesting, but then this did. Let's get install this and see what's going on. So we've integrated Gemini CLI with Google's AI Assistant, Gemini Code Assist, so that all developers on free standard enterprise code plans get prompt-driven AI-first coding, both in VS Code and Gemini. Okay, so it looks like they have some sort of plugin into VS Code, maybe, as well. No cost. See, this is why Google are crazy. They just give stuff away, and it's actually pretty good. Yeah. Monopolistic to say the least, but there we go. To use Gemini CLI 3, charge simply log in, blah blah blah. Okay, freeze. I just want to use the powerful models in your command line. Now in preview Gemini. Here we go. Ground prompts. That's cool. Customize prompts. Blah blah blah. Come on, Jesus Christ, where is it? Just want to download it. There we go. Gemini Code Assist. So it's again the same as Claude Code. Looks a bit fancier than Claude Code though. Claude actually just looks a little bit techie, doesn't it? Posted in, blah blah blah. Okay, let's go. Let's go. And let's use what's it called? Warp to install it all. Okay, so it's installed through npm. So I'm going to warp and paste that in there. Should figure it out. Pick a color theme. Should it just run this CLI command in your terminal? Pick a color theme. I think. Here we go. Right. Yes. Cool. Select theme. Ooh. What should we go for? GitHub. Dracula. I don't like default. Google Code. Xcode could be. Ugh. I find this really hard to read. Let's just go default. Yeah, let's go default. Log in with Google. Let's do that. I'm going to go on to my face so that none of my emails pop up. And I've just done it now, haven't I? Jesus Christ, what an idiot. Yeah, do I look stretched? Is that stretched to you? Don't know. And now authorized. Cool. Failed to log in. Ensure your Google account is not a workspace account. Okay, so let's just do that. So I've got this. Failed to log in. So I'm going to create an API key, which should be on my Google Workspace account. But let's see. I'm going to go to Studio, Gemini Studio, Google AI Studio. I've got so many of these tools. Create an API key. And I'm hoping this is just Gemini API create. I'm hoping this is just, what'd you say? Going to count towards my free, well, what I'm already paying for, basically. Gemini environment variable not found. Add that to your env file. No reload needed. Which env file? Maybe I need an env file in my root of my thing. Let's try. I'm going to take you back to here. I'm just going to do this. Add a .env file to the root of my user. Let's just do that. See if this works it out. Because this is technically a prompt, and then there we go. Nice, it's done it. Basic env. Cool. Looks like you already have an env file. Let's do that. I'm going to switch back so I don't reveal my API key. I want to cool. Hopefully that's done. Let's double check. No, it didn't. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Add that to your env file and try again. Which env file? All right, I'm just going to log in with my normal Google because this is still my own now. That's what I got last time, but then it failed miserably. Okay, we're in. Sweet. It's in my Jupyter chat thing. Let's go. What? Oh God. What were the last 3 changes? See if I can figure it out. Okay. We allow Git. Investigating recent changes. I mean, it's basically Claude code, isn't it? So removal of Deno, VS Code, free tier implementation, README update. So you could press / on Claude, which is the same here. So about, change the auth method, submit a bug report, chat. So list, save. Oh, you can save, which is nice. Clear, compress. This is basically the same as Claude code. Compress, docs, editor, see, set external editor preference, MCP. So you got MCP stuff, memory, which is cool, loving memory, and quit, stats, theme, tools. Okay, so it's basically the same as Claude code. Let's go back here. Do we have well, it says it's free, but is it like free for a certain amount of time? To use Gemini CLI free of charge, simply log in with a personal account, which we did, to give free code assist license. That free license gives you access to Gemini 2.5 Pro and its massive 1 million context window. To ensure you rarely, if ever, hit a jury preview, we offer the industry's large allowance, 60 model requests per minute. So 1,000 requests per day at no charge. If you're a professional developer, which I am, people who needs to run multiple agents simultaneously, or if you prefer to use specific models, you can use AI Studio Vertex for key-based usage you'll get. So it's just Pro, because if you go model, so if I do this, go Claude, you can actually change your model there. You can set you do your models and stuff like that, but they're only allowing Pro by those things, which is fine. I think most people do use Pro, and I think once they get deep whatever it is, they might even be able to flip between fast and whatever. Anyway, this isn't why we're here, but it is very interesting. So that is a quick look at Gemini CLI. I am. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let me just go back what I was just going over. Here we go. Gemini is free of charge. Simply log in with a personal Google account to get free code assistant license. This license gives you access to 2.5 Pro with this massive 1 million context window. So big. Doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't compress and start new chats and stuff like that. It just means you can go a little bit longer and not lose context. To ensure you're ready, if ever, hit a limit during this preview. We offer industry's large allowance, 60 model requests per minute, 1,000 requests per day at no charge. I wonder what happens if you do go over that, whether they do charge you. And they're saying if you do want to test out the different models, then you've got to do it over here. You can't do it within Pro. So with I'm going to turn off studio mode because this is actually pretty annoying. Then I can just go whoop whoop and it's instant. Cool. And I think that was it. It does do Google search. It's got MCP stuff, which is great. And I was showing as well on Claude Code you can slash model, and you can change the models, which you cannot do that in Gemini CLI, but it's still pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So that's that. Let me get up some, make sure that I'm not revealing some API keys real quick, because I was just playing with those. And indeed, I would have accidentally shared my API keys. So to pick up where we left off yesterday, just double check everything. So I was using Taskmaster, which if you're just joining Taskmaster, it's a way of, so far as I've been using it, it's a way of setting up your projects from what do you call it, from scratch. And I thought it would have been a beautiful bridge between vibe coding, because I think vibe coding tools are really good at taking your, like, an idea or whatever from scratch where you've got nothing, and then making it into like a prototype or whatever. Whereas Cursor isn't, when you're like using AI assisted coding tools like Cursor and stuff, they're not really good at just making something from scratch. And yesterday, and Taskmaster seems to kind of answer those prayers a little bit. So what it does, you initialize it in your project, and it's all done through MCP as well. So it's all through natural language that you do this. So I added the key here, and I'm chatting with their CLI, I guess, and to set up the project, change the coding model and all this sort of stuff, and it sets all these files up, and then it gives you a example PRD, and then this is what you're supposed to fill in to give the AI a really solid kind of way to work and stuff like that. I didn't have that. I didn't want to fill that in, so I asked the agent to help me fill it in, and that's kind of where we got to here. But we're having trouble with my Superbase stuff, and that is because Superbase, I might even start a new instance, because Superbase is like set up to work with, it's not a fresh Superbase thing on this. Oh, actually, I'll backtrack a little bit. Didn't work out so well yesterday. It was like, it took hours to run through everything, and the result wasn't so great. And I was constantly thinking, like, when I initialized it, it just automatically read from the README file, which had a bunch of technical information in it that doesn't tell you anything about the product at all. So it built a PRD from this, and I was like, "What? I just initialized the project. Why are you reading that?" Anyway, I tried it again yesterday afternoon, and it didn't read from the README file. It just initialized the project, and then I was able to then say, "Okay, let's develop a PRD and give it a bunch of stuff." And then now it actually developed this PRD doc. So I think we're already onto a much better starting point than yesterday's video. And what we're building is basically a client credential management system, as it's named it here, where if I have clients working with me, and I have if I set up a bunch of services and things like that they need to log into, instead of them remembering all the different services, they just log into the one service, which is what I give them access to, and then they can just click off and log into all these different ones. So just a way that they don't have to, where's the CMS, or this, that, and the other. So saying that, I think I'm going to set up a new Superbase project, and I'm going to set up a new Superbase project for this. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to set up a new Superbase real quick. I'm just doing this so I don't accidentally revealing things. So I'm going to probably delete. In fact, actually, I'm just going to delete all my tables in my existing Superbase. Yeah. Oh, it's friggin' quite warm today, and I've got my fan on. So if there's a fan, you'll have to do it on YouTube, but because I can't read comments on Twitter. But if you can hear the fan, you'll have to let me know. Okay. It should be good. So I've deleted all my tables. I've got to delete my functions, but is it policies deleted? Policies are deleted. That's good. And I want to delete my functions as well. Cool. Delete function. Actually, I can share my screen because it's not revealing anything too crazy and it's a bit more interesting to look at. So I'm just deleting all these functions. I'm only doing this because I've already got just my keys set up, and like I'm just panicking about revealing any of my delete user from org, revealing my keys to the masses and then not having time to shut them down. God damn it! I bet there's a quicker way for me to do this. Handle new. Why didn't I delete? Come on. Cannot be because other objects depend on it. Okay, whatever. Delete this. Hoping this takes a lot less time because it literally was hours yesterday. It just took so long. I know, I'm not expecting it to just happen. It is meant to be a bit like, I think vibe coding, it's like you invest in the upfront cost of like getting it right the first time. I know people want to see stuff pretty quickly, but in the long run, yeah, it's one of those things you have to just get on with. So let's just go next task. This is the beauty of MCP, is I can just say next task and it's just going to do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to try and pull the super base stuff. Dum. Before we initialize super base project, that might just done. Okay, I don't think it is, but whatever. It seems we're still facing an issue with the Anthropic API key. Do you know what? This has been a nightmare setting up my API key for Anthropic. Well, to be really quick about it, like you set up your API keys in your MCP. Let's go to Taskmaster. Is it here? No. Taskmaster. Go to GitHub here. So you set up your MCP and then ask your API key. Cool. Then you set up a project, and then it sets up another MCP thing here, which I don't want to open because it's got my API keys in it. Cool. Okay, so I'll put it in there. And then it's also got a config here, which also asks for API keys. There's literally 3 places where it's asking for API keys. So I'm just going to double check some stuff off screen and have a little look. So, okay, so the config doesn't have the API key stuff, which is fine. Let's do code sonnet. So it's just a pain in my asshole So that's that one done. MCP, Anthropic. All right, how do I... Let's try one thing, right? So you can actually set the model you want to use. Set main and fallback model to Claude, because I want to use my Claude Code login. Claude Code Sonnet, which it has on the here. It says change the main model or change the research model or whatever, because there's 3 models. There's main, research, and fallback. I'm using Perplexity for my research and then Sonnet for these 2. Does this, and then it will say here insertable code. Let's get back to, okay, so it's already done. This has got to match our current project structure. We'll now attempt to update the task to reflect what we're using in Vite and React. Okay, cool. Well, that seems to have done something, but it's still whinging about this. I just wanted to get on the task thing, but just getting to this point was a lot quicker than yesterday anyway. And I have my PRD set up here. So hopefully some decent tasks will be done. Connection failed. I kept doing this as well, which was really annoying. Oh, how fun, how fun, how fun, how fun. The project is not Next.js. The Superbase client environment variables are already configured. Okay, I think this is conflicting with my rules that I have set up about Next.js. So it's just updating itself to tell the thing that it's not a Next.js project, which I'm guessing something in here. Come on. It's doing my nutting. This is absolutely doing my nutting. Okay, it's doing so. Rather than getting stuck, proceed with the intent task authentication, even though it's slightly inaccurate. The next logical step is create a React context to manage the user session state throughout. So we're cooking now. We're good. We're doing good. So it's creating an auth system. Okay, so we're back to Superbase now, which is cool. Now that necessary packages are installed, I'll update app. I want to see. Okay, so it's got 22 tasks in here. So this is what it generates. So it's been doing a few. It's kind of just doing it. There you go. Just set that one. See what was happening before as well. It was creating a bunch of subtasks. So it's interesting. Maybe that's one reason why it took so long. But let's see if we can see anything. npm run dev. No, that looks cool. Slightly off, but we're getting somewhere. And I need a password. I need a master password. So that was done through. I had to manually do that. Next.js project was for client. Yeah, it's not that. Implement organizational management for masters users. Implement user management. Create user management interface for master users and organization endpoints. Create user management endpoints. Service management. User profile management. Role-based navigation. Create dynamic navigation based on user roles. That's cool. Implement service view for standard users. Implement password reset flow. Implement error handling. Implement data loading. Implement organization dashboard. Jesus Christ, there's loads. If we get an opportunity, I want to show you because it's quite good. You've got these dependencies basically that it knows that it shouldn't start a task until it's done these dependencies. So yeah, it does seem pretty thorough. I'm researching. I've been chatting with the guy actually. I've been researching Ryan Carson, who came up with a much more simplified solution. And it's basically it's pretty much the same thing. It's just a lot more, fast paced than this one. I want to play more with that method. He's like a CEO of a company. It's quite cool. He's put it together, but I want to play with that one and compare it against Taskmaster. But right now, Taskmaster does seem pretty cool. And this is just going. This is just going. I wanted to actually, let me check to see if we're getting charged. Because I want to be using Claude Code. Yesterday, it was running for quite a bit, and I used maybe 50 cents or something like that. I've never really needed to use the API Claude, so I didn't have really much idea about what the kind of prices were with it. So we've run up quite a cost. We're at $3.49 now. So yeah, that was yesterday. Today we're already 5 cents. So it's not using my Claude Code thing, which is really, really annoying. But whatever. What day are we on today? 25th. Yeah, so I'm seeing these come in. I'm seeing the usage today come in. I imagine it's just switched. We'll go to here. Oh no, it's using Claude Code. You can use local models as well, which is pretty cool. But my machine is not capable of doing that. But yeah, you can use a bunch of other stuff with it as well. I wonder if there's a way to create a new tab. List tasks. This is what we're dealing with. 22 wow, 40. Jesus Christ. I wonder why it started at 21. How interesting. But yeah, you can see how it's laid out, dependencies, the kind of priority. It's going through these bit by bit, kind of doing its thing. I wish it was a little bit more interesting to... Should have set this off and then looked at the Google CLI stuff. Just checking my usage down here. Didn't seem to be going up, so maybe it is using Claude Code now. So the whole point in these streams is, by the way, I can't see Twitter. I see a few people. I don't know where you are. I can only chat with you on YouTube. So if you do want to join in, come over to YouTube. Because I've never been able to work out how to look at chat on Twitter. Live chat. Chat messages will appear here. Okay, cool. Maybe I have figured that out. But yeah, if you want to chat, come over on YouTube. It's easier to see. And then we can actually talk about what's going on, maybe, or if you have questions about Taskmaster, maybe I can just go back onto there. Yeah, so the setup, really, basically how I set it up is I just started a new ShadCN project, Vite React project. So I had the project like set up and running in my, in my IDE or whatever. And then I installed Taskmaster and initialized this project as a Taskmaster project after, of course, installing the MCP. And then you can, well, actually, it says, again, this is the annoying thing about their documentation. It starts to say, oh, you can change the model, this, that, and the other. But actually, it will whinge when you do this because it will say you haven't initialized the project. So it will just initialize the project. So they need to need to change the order of these things. So you initialize the project, and then you basically need a PRD document, right? For new projects, create your PRD in this folder, which you can see that we've got it here in Taskmaster Docs PRD. Oh, it's waiting for something. But for existing projects, you can use scripts.prd or migrate with Taskmaster migrate. So I don't know to what extent existing projects is, whether this is a completely empty folder, like technically it was an existing project that I, migrated or whatever. But regardless, while PRD is recommended, you can always create individual tasks by asking, can you help me implement this? So this is probably like midway through your project. This is probably midway through your project. So you can like ask to implement new features and it will run through that kind of thing. So, and then you can just say like PARS requirements or go next step or whatever, and it will just, build them all out. The only thing I'm noticing that's different here now is that tasks was full of markdown files. So I have never managed to get a consistent workflow with this bloody tool. 27 is complete. The next task is 40. Perform security audit. This is very important. High-level task. It involves reviewing the work we've done so far and identify security vulnerabilities. Given the scope of the task, I think it's best we break it down into smaller, more manageable tasks. I'll now use expand command into smaller tasks. So it's going to run that thing. So maybe we'll see some things broken down in here. What task is it? 27 is 40. This one here. So yeah, we should see these expand. But it looks like it's had internet issues again, which is something. Next task. I keep needing to give it a kick every now and again, which is something we encountered yesterday. According to the would you prefer to defer this task and move on? Let's break this task down. And what I've found is as well, sometimes you can just leave it do its thing and it will just take care of everything for you and just run through tasks. And then sometimes it will be needy little what's it. and it just needs you to like answer it every single time. So it's just, it chops and changes whether it's being needy or not. I never understand whether this is something I need to like act upon, but let's just be patient and see what's, might just need a bit of time. So I've scheduled about 2 hours for this today. So we started a bit earlier. So I've got until 5, depending on where you are in the world. But for me, it's 5. While it's doing that, I want to show you something, which I released a video on, like an informal video on Twitter today, but I've been using Manus quite a lot. And I asked it to help me just start unifying all of my different things that I've got going on and try and like create some sort of synergy between them. So I asked it a bunch of, well, I asked of it like a bunch of things, and it asked me a bunch of questions back to figure it out. It's basically come back with this. All of these files are, you know, the plan, I guess, which is interesting. So it's done some key findings here. I mean, I have no idea what this means. I think it's vanity metrics, basically. But it's good that it's done it. So AI development tools, basically, I told it about me. I told it about my website. I told it everything it needs to know. Developer tools, content consumption, enterprise demand. Need AI implementation guidance for practical solutions. This is such a boring avenue to get into, but I am getting a lot of people coming to me and saying, hey, I need to do this. Is there an AI for that? Which is a really interesting situation to find yourself in. And yeah, so it's quite nice. Go away. I hate this. Keep popping up. Anyway, strengths, technical expertise. This is my strengths, I guess. Content creation, capability. I mean, established presence. Weaknesses: disconnected brands, unclear audience, underutilized revenue streams. Opportunities: massive AI education demand, underserved practical implementation market. Threats: increased competition, rapid technology changes, market saturation risk. I mean, it's pretty generic assessment, to be fair, but you know, it's still an assessment. Strategic recommendations: target audience refinement. Primary: AI curious web developers, 25 to 40, 2 to 8 years experience, 60K to 150K income. This is you, apparently. This is you. This is my best guess as well. Secondary: design to development transitioners, 20 to 35 years old, designer background, 45 to 100K income. Okay. Again, this is you, apparently. Product development strategy: recommended products. So it's okay. So it's gone ahead and like recommended a bunch of products for me to build. AI implementation assessment tool. These assessment tools are like so dull, but I should build it. I've got one here, lead magnet ideas. I've got something waiting here, but it's just such a boring thing to do. AI web development mastery course. Which is, I guess, 199 to 499, which could be interesting. I've tried doing a bunch of courses. I've even got one out now, but I just find that they are, you know, you guys don't buy, like, without being too blunt about it, you guys don't want to buy things. And it's still going here. And more people just want things for free. That's my only reservation about a course. So with that, I would need to absolutely drum up interest or gauge a level of interest on whether people would be willing to buy something like that, and whether, you know, what are you looking for out of it? Like, where are you coming from? And then where do you want to be, sort of thing. So I'd have to do some research around that. So these ideas are great. but I would need to flesh out how to actually get there. And in fact, I'm going to ask it to. Can you flesh out a strategy for AI web development mastery course? Right. I'm interested to see if it, you know, ask me to make a video, do a, what do you call it? Like register your interest thing. Let's see if it does that. Let's leave it to its thing. You can choose to reset manager's computer. Okay, fine. Membership, premium membership community. I have a community. Again, I lowered the price, but it's just one of those things. Like, you can have these things. These are results. You can have them, but you need a strategy and you need a, like, what is the community about? Like, what am I giving? Because I'm already giving away private, like not private, but extra footage, early access, things like this. Like, it's just finding out what these people want. Enterprise training programs. Snore. Integration strategy, core principle, one brand, multiple touch points, unified brand across multiple content to consultancy lead pipeline. I don't know what that means at all. Revenue projections. Okay. So it's just giving me some projections here, targets. Some target. It thinks I'm going to get 200 to 400K in YouTube revenue. Are you absolutely kidding? I met with a friend last night. He was like, "What's a good month for you on YouTube?" I said 100 quid, and that is working around the clock. That is like waking up at 5 a.m. That's editing till late at night. That's literally pumping out content as much as I can. For me personally, my numbers, 100 quid. So to even imagine, you'd have to have millions and millions of people watching. Maybe this includes sponsorships. I don't know, but anyway, consultancy revenue. Okay, it's just throwing shit out at the moment. Really, implementation timeline, unified brand and messaging. Okay, so we do need to flesh some of these out. It is very high level. Like, what does that even mean? And how do I go about doing that? Hire content production manager and marketing assistant. I would love that. Just someone to orchestrate and be a bit more on my ass about creating content and doing certain things. Okay, is this not doing anything whatsoever? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just do this. I'm going to close that. I'm going to create a new task. Next task. Start from fresh. Okay. Looks like the next task is 40. Here are the details, invitation, blah, blah, blah. When you're ready to start, I can set the status in progress. I want to start. Start. To begin, start breaking down. So, yes, come on. See, this is it. Suddenly just gets really needy and just want you to like say yes to every little thing. And this is where it gets stuck. I think is this the last one as well? Pending. No, it still needs to do a bunch of pending. Yeah, still quite a few tasks. Maybe we could skip 40. Let's skip task 40 for now. Okay, so I just saw a bunch of subtasks get created now. So you can choose what to work on next. Which is high. That's high. Which is medium. Okay, let's start on 28. Let's start on task 28. Yes. It's needy mode. Okay, let's see if it's something to do. Oh, Apple Music, what's this? Go away. What I might do is use my Google API key, which I should already have in my thing. Clipboard. Okay, I'm going to do this. Use Google as main and fallback model. Let's try Google. Maybe it's something to do with Claude Code. Do you want to go Pro Premium? Yep, that looks good. I'm going to see what the result of that is behind the scenes. Okay, config. Okay, so it's set those. Yeah. Google API, the error message, API key not valid. Apply to config.json. There's literally no... Yeah, it's just so confusing where we need to put API keys, all the rest of it in Taskmaster. Like, it is literally all over the place. Now that API keys in place to proceed with expanding task, let's see if it works. All over the place with task Taskmaster. What's it saying now? Seems to still encounter an API key not valid from the API. Okay, let's try another way. Okay, that's that. And topic. Okay. Try again. Sorry, I'm just API keys are all over the place right now. So I've added my API key to cursor. I've added my API key to these rules here. I thought these would overwrite, but clearly not. Temporary resume. Let's try again. I'm dead curious how they say set this up, to be honest. API key issue is still persisting. I'm getting the same API key not valid. Oh my Jesus. Jesus Christ. I'm asking the Taskmaster what is the API key that it has for Google. See if it will return that. Then at least I know. The key in cursor MCP is incorrect. A typo. Oh, it won't. For security reasons, I'm unable to view the actual thing. Key does not have generative. The key does not have generative language API, sometimes called Vertex API. So I've created it inside of. I created it inside of AI Studio. Okay, I'm going to restart cursor. That could also be the issue. Oh, the joys of development. Oh, the joys. Sorry, just putting a new API key in. It's asking me if I want to do 40. Let's see if we can. Now I've restarted cursor. Let's see if we would clear all subtitles. We can either proceed. Wonder if we can see logs, because I'm constantly having like issues with Taskmaster constantly. Looks like it's doing something. Okay. It's getting cracking with task 40, because after I restarted, I forgot that we moved on to 28. But let's see how it goes on. Should I run initial report? Oh my God, this neediness. Yes. I want you to do the task. See? Connecting to the model provider. Haven't connected model provider. This might be temporary. Please try again in a moment. Okay, so it's just a temporary thing. Okay, it's done. Maybe it's because of Gemini, which makes me want to go back to Claude. Okay. Let's do task. What was it? 28. Actually, I'm going to go set main and fallback models to, what are we building here, boss? We are building just a tool which I can give out to my clients. So if you're a client with me, we probably set up like, oh, your hosting's here, oh, your CMS is here. Instead of that client wondering where to go to, we literally just give them a login to one place, and then they can just click off and do certain things. They don't have to remember all the different services. So, but that's not really the point here. We're trying to figure out Taskmaster, which has proven to be a bit of an annoyance, to be honest, but I'm hoping it will get there. Have you heard of Taskmaster? Set main fallback models to Claude Code Sonnet. See if we can do this, restart cursor, and then see if we can just get it to use Claude, because Gemini seems to be pretty finicky right now. And we haven't even, well, we've got it kind of, it can run, but it's Taskmaster will just build a bunch of tasks actually, and run through them and vibe out like a whole application based on a product requirements document, which you can see on the screen right now. Having trouble connecting, resume. This could be because it's still using Gemini. Might have to change that to, let me just do auto. Set the main model to Claude Code. Cool. What's cooking today? Nothing right now. Nothing right now. Building a tool for my clients so they can see all of their stuff, but just faffing around with, I Okay, so that actually worked really cleanly. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quit cursor because that seemed to be the cause of all our problems, and just restart. Okay, and go to start on task 28. Start no task 28. Start on task 28. Really trying to get Taskmaster to work is the main goal. Yesterday I spent hours trying to get it to work, and it did, but I wasn't pleased with the outcome. Oh, cheers, Pixel. As I've got the opportunity, as I've got you, what's the most of the stuff you're interested in? What's been the thing that's like intrigued you the most? Like, what videos in particular do you like? Because I'm working away at all my trying to produce the best content, and yeah, if you're going to share that, you may as well get the content that you like and enjoy. Okay, did I just quit? Start. Let's do the spelling. Start on task 28. Let's go. 28. Implement user profile. Okay, we're starting. This is starting to be a bit more. Try expanding into subtasks. 28. Implement user management. Already marked as in progress since we had issues expanding the subtasks. Would you like to? Yeah, expand. Recently watching the Webflow cloud stuff. Yeah, like I wonder like where it's going to go, because it's super interesting. I think it's so niche. It's super interesting to those people who want to get involved in it, but I just don't know how. Like, Webflow don't seem to really be pushing it all that much. So yeah, is it specifically Webflow cloud you're interested in, or is it more so just Next.js and like what's going on in that world? Like, are you a designer, a developer, and you want to actually use it? Or, oh my god, it's super needy, isn't it? Like, there was an error clause code. Exhibit class 1. This could be a temporary issue. Try again. Still experiencing issues. The process of try expanding. God damn it. Switch to Perplexity. I know Perplexity ain't a good coding model, but it's the only API key I've got on there. Unauthorized. Oh my days. Right. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go off screen share again just to create a new API key. Let's do actually I'm gonna try Anthropic console. Anthropic. Let's create a new API key just to make sure we've got the latest one. Try Claude code again. Webflow for sure, since it's my main tool, but also been learning Next and that vibe coding bubble of mine. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Have you checked out my video on like when to use Webflow and when to like vibe code? Has that like cleared things up for you? Because I think a lot of no coders or not Webflowers are like, oh, what's this vibe code thing? But vibe coding isn't for building, it's not for building the same websites as Webflow is, although arguably Webflow Cloud does. But yeah, I think the intent is it would be stupid just to have a Webflow website where it's just Webflow Cloud. Like the beauty of it is that they come together. So I'm just checking my code thing here. That sounds like an interesting video. When did you post it? When did I post it? I'll just put a link in here. But like last week sometimes. Where are you guys anyway? What time is it for you? Because I'm trying to work out when the best time to stream is. Wait, that's vibe code. I've got vibe code versus AI assisted. Oh, nice. Same time as us then. Oh no, you're an hour ahead in Dubai. So this one is like AI vibe code or AI assisted coding. Where is the one? Well, maybe it's going out. Maybe it's going out this week. But oh, here we go. Completely no coded. Yeah, we go. And this one is actually specifically when to use Webflow versus when to use when to vibe. Oh my days. Oh my days. So I'm trying to use core code. For the love of Christ, I'm trying to use core code. But it's just... might set up a bunch of API keys so that we can just play around. So I've got Perplexity, I've got Google. Maybe OpenRouter would be better so that we can play around with that. There's that. Go into the MCP server, change them there. Turn off all these. How familiar with you of MCP are you with? How familiar are you with MCP? Because I had a video last week about using Figma MCP, and I'd love to know if that makes sense and whatever. Yeah, I watched the video before. I've been using Tempo Labs recently and built some stuff on Replit. So we've got, I'm chatting with Replit at the moment, and I'm hoping that they will come on the weekly podcast. Trying very hard because I love Replit. I've been using it for a long time, and the I'm chatting with Matt Palmer, who's doing a lot of their content and stuff. So I'm trying to get him on the show. Fingers crossed he will come on the show. But I love Replit. What's Tempo Labs? Tempo Labs. AI powered tools, Tempo to prompt. So I guess it's a vibe code tool. Yeah. Okay. Build React apps 10 times faster with AI. How do you think this is different to, let's say, Replit? It's a bit of a jump, $30 to $4,000. Our agents design and build 1 to 3 features for you per week. This is a crazy. I'm not going to lie. It's giving me Builder AI vibes. That it's 48 to 72 hour workaround. They will build 1 to 3 features per week. What is it? Just like, yeah, you're basically hiring a developer to vibe code for you. With 4,000, you get yeah. It's an interesting model. I guess so many people are vibe coding these days. They get stuck, and then they just end up hiring someone anyway. Oh my days. Why is this failing on me so much today? Let's set main model as Gemini 2.5 Pro. Let's see. Expand 28. Let's go. Okay, so it's okay. We're cooking. Would you like to start on first task? Cool. But the inside of the tool is amazing, and the way it's structured and the MCP marketplace is just super. I said to Replit to get MCP on board, so that's interesting because I didn't know if it was technically possible. I guess you need remote clients to be able to do so. Codebase, so there's the agent. So there's a design tool as well. Have you seen, what's it called? I did another video on it. On Look. Oh, look, PRD. This is what we're talking about right now. This is what we're trying to get to work. We've got this PRD. Oh my days, it's really needy. Create profile management endpoints in our master input. Would you like to detail information? We should start with the first endpoint. Create profile management. But we're using Superbase. We are using Superbase for our users. Thank you for clarifying. Here's how the endpoint task and tap Superbase fetch. But we're not using, I think it still thinks we're using Next.js, which we're not. This is a React app. I wonder where I got the idea that this was a Next.js app. Cool. Would you like to code outlines of start a specific feature? Start from the file edit form. Yeah, that user flow's nice. And someone's how you start on Webflow. Should try it. Would you like me to generate? Oh my days! Jesus Christ Almighty! Come on. Profile edit form with the name. Just get on with the tasks. Is this Gemini? Is this why Gemini's just? What do you want to? No, just fucking do it. Profile. Would you generate code? I literally don't know what it's. Why it's asking me every single step of the way. Like what? That's crazy, isn't it? Whereas yesterday, left it for about an hour just doing its thing, working uninterrupted. Wait for something to appear here. I don't think it's using right, something's up here. Something's definitely up here. Like why is it suddenly gone into like a really needy? Oh, hang on, it's gone through now. You can now import and use this component in your app. Well, would you like to proceed with adding password? Profile edit form. So it didn't even add it into profile. Next task. Let's see what happens if maybe it's like fallen out of like Taskmaster mode or something. I went crazy first time using Taskmaster. So you've used this. This is interesting because like you look at tutorials on YouTube and they like breeze through it. So it seems like it's fallen out of the Taskmaster mode. Let's go continue task 40. Tried it on Windsurfer, Cursor, and VS Code. I mean, the IDE is not going to change. It's not going to make a difference. Like, would you like to start running dependency audit? Yes, please. And so what annoyed me yesterday, or what was confusing yesterday, was I tried initializing a project that I'd actually, start from the beginning. Did you already have like a project? Did you already have like a starter project to do it on? Or did you initialize like an empty folder? Yes. Oh my days. Start from an empty folder. Yeah. See, I want to choose the tech stack. So I started from a full folder. And then when I initialized Taskmaster, it just automatically read from the README file, which in most code bases, when you start, the README file is just like, hey, welcome to your Next.js project or whatever, and how to start the project. So next update. Yes, this is crazy. Might just. I'm tempted to use Claude Code, like actual Claude Code, because they have an MCP thing. And was yours as needy as this? Like, how long did it take you to get to your final product? Yes, geez, I'm just saying yes, yes, yes over and over again. They launched the app. Who launched the app on VS Code? Who launched the app on VS Code? It's funny how they put please under all these. See, look, yeah, it should have done this. Let's is linked successfully or plug enable, blah blah blah. Your dependency code so it's both clear. Would you like to proceed with review and supervise? So that fixed it, yes. Took me 3 days to get Taskmaster to work. Then to final product took me around 10 days. All PRD was previously done, text, tax letters, license, all that stuff. Did you have so yeah, 3 days, that's crazy. To try to read or update the database. What is this now? Great. Next step is to review your Superbase. Here's how you can proceed. Check the RO status for each table. In the Superbase, go to project tables for each table, especially those with sensitive data. Blah, blah. Well, we've got no tables. So what's it? What is it? What is it talking about? We have no tables. Yes. Yeah, that checks out. Like timing wise, the 3 days to get Taskmaster to work is insane. What do you mean by work as well? Like, I mean, this is working technically right now. So was it just nothing for 3 days until it clicked or whatever? But create table. Create tables. Enable row level security. Cool. Yeah, another table. Another table. Organizations. Organization members. we doing row level security for the other one? On organization? Oh, that's all what it's saying. You want to allow users. I don't want it enabled. Like I'm trying to understand why we're not doing it on this one. I suppose it's just organizations, I guess. I don't really know. Anyway. Just control who can view and update. Okay. Do we need RLS on organizations? You need. Oh, okay. Were you supposed to be guiding me through it? No. Services. Cool. Would you like SQL for a different type of table, guidance on how to use the surface? No, I don't need to worry about that. Nope. Nope. Return to task list, please. Continue with 28. Task 28. Actually, let's set main model and fallback to Claude code Sonnet. Let's try this one more time. See how we get on. We seem to be on a bit of a roll now. Both main models are set to Claude. You continue working. Okay. Continue with task 28. Okay. Seems to be working. Complete remaining subtasks. Memory generated. User prefers main model to be set. Okay. That took ages, didn't it? That took bloody ages. Like, maybe as an internet thing, I don't know. I'm saying that now. Look, it's are we back to it just losing complete? I try and create new tasks when we're like done with stuff. Try and free up that context a little bit. Let's create a new task. Continue with next task. Oh, yeah. So was the 3 days, was it this 3 days of this? Just kind of getting it to a baseline, because I think that's what Taskmaster is all about, is getting it to a baseline. We should be on continue with task 28. Yeah. Did it take you 3 days to get it? You're up to a baseline, basically. Oh, it's so much like nicer now, being like it's actually working. So bizarre when it doesn't work. Would you like step-by-step recommended next steps? Design and implement above endpoints. How do we? So we're not using Next.js. So we are not update. Where can I do this? Is it rules? Is it inside of rules? Cursor rules. See if it will figure it out for us. Where can I update the code base to state? We are not using Next.js because it keeps wanting to make API endpoints, but we don't have access to API endpoints inside of a React app. Next.js app. No man, I wish. 3 days just to set it up. Yeah. Docs, contributing docs, PRD, tasks, config. Claude. Readme. Okay. Would you like him to checking? Let's do. Rules. What's in here? No, that's not what we want. Rule. Let's go to add rules. Project rules. This is a Vite React project that uses Superbase. Let's see. Always. Okay. Implement the above endpoints, but we are using React and so need hooks or TanStack query. So TanStack query, if you didn't know, is like it's like a caching library. So we tell it to call an API. It returns, let's say, the users from Superbase. It stores the users or whatever. So See what it says. Your code base already uses Supabase directive for management, leverages React Query for data fetching, mutations in other areas, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to create REST endpoints. Yes, I know. That's what I'm telling you. This fetch endpoint, use query, blah, 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 blah. Where to place the code, blah, blah, blah. Would you like me to proceed and generate the code for these hooks? Yes, please. Oh. Use profile. Can now use profile query. Use. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're in needy mode. Follow the tasks list. Cool. Refactor to use hooks. Do you know, I'm going to check the UI and see what's going on with the UI. So I need a master user, which will probably mean creating. Yeah. I did it yesterday. Create a user in Supabase and then write a function that I call manually with a password to set that up as a master user. Okay. Okay. We need to set. I don't need a master user. Actually, I can just go off for a sec. I'm just going to create a new user. That's me. Oh, I'm already as a user, so I can just log in. So that's cool. npm run dev. Let's do. Just log in and hang on. What are we? We are Supabase. Cool. Right. Well, okay, we got like my. So I'll show you in a sec. I'm just going to sort something out because it's got my. Cool. Okay. So this is it. I'm logged in as a standard user. So where's the form? Where is this form? Maybe there's no route for it. What page? Proceed now to test the form. What form is this? Profile edit form. So if I search profile edit form, exported. So we're not even importing it anywhere. So we need to put this form on the relevant page. So what I also don't know is like, where's the line? We've put in our API keys for Taskmaster. Like, where is the line between like coding? Like, is it Cursor that's doing this sort of coding, or is it Taskmaster doing this sort of coding? I don't know where the lines are. So profile edit is app, you're logged in as a user. Okay. So it's just put it on the main page, seemingly. Oh, looks like trash. Do we have ShadCN installed? Because I'm pretty sure I asked it to be ShadCN. Yeah, we do, because it's got this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to claw code it. And I'm going to go, yep. I'm going to go refactor this code base to use ShadCN where possible. I said this yesterday, but I do like Claude Code. It seems really just robust. Close all. List tasks. I need to remind myself where we're at. Initialize super base. Okay, completed task set up. Authentication, base components and theme. I mean, didn't really do that, to be honest. Implementation management organization for master users, implement user management system. And then profile edit form. Continue with 28.2 subtask. What is this for? Current. Oh, so this is changing the password. So, services. User. It's this one. Done. Let's do that and add a 1 on the end. See if that works. Okay, so that changed. Just gonna come out of here just for a second, just so I can log out and okay, password change worked. Excellent. Can we does it look like I'm if we go like this, there we go. We go like this. If we go like this, and then we go like it's always like stretching me. Why is it doing that? How weird. How weird. I'm going to guess it's there. Cool. Sorry about that. Me just messing around with things. So I was able to change my password, but that's definitely not the screen we want to do. Let's continue going on. Run together without any issues. The only issues would be is if they edit the same file together. So yeah, and this will whinge that, you know, oh, there's been an update to the file, and you know there can be issues. So I'm probably just going to let this do its thing first before continuing on with this. We could probably do it because this is talking about writing tests, but you know, and tests would presumably be in another file. But let's do its thing first. kind of want to set up my MCP inside of Claude Code, which I might do real quick. Because I do really like using Claude Code. Exit Claude. Oh no, I think Claude Code needs to use remote MCPs. It can't use local or something like this. So yeah, let's not worry about that for now. To do right. So what is to do right? Organizations, services, UI, users. I've got to shoot in half an hour, maybe even sooner, unfortunately. Oh no, we've still got a bit of time. It's all good. 5 is fine. Where's this? I think we're good. I think we're all right. It's so nice to vibe code, but at the same time, I feel so uncomfortable when it's just doing stuff, and like it's so much nicer when you can actually go to the file, you understand what it's doing, you make the change. Like these broad, when we're nice and broad like this, makes me very uncomfortable, to say the least. Because there's so much stuff that's happening and you just don't know what's going on. Sorry, I'm just responding to some comments. How's it getting on? Still going. Table. See, what we haven't got is actually page fetch organizations, components, organizations list. We haven't got pages to actually navigate, and we haven't created the dashboard yet. So let's go up here. Role-based navigation. I suppose we've still got a little bit to go. Organization dashboard. We have still got a little bit to go. I'm not gonna go with this yet until this is done. By the way, guys, did you see that Gemini have released the CLI now? So for free, which competes with Claude Code, which is pretty cool. But it's hard to like recommend these other tools. Do you add user stories to the PRD? I let it do its thing with a brief description of what I wanted to build, and it kind of just did it for me. I guess these are kind of user stories, but yeah. How did you start with your user? Like, how did you create your PRD? Oh my God, something's going crazy. Cannot find module. Yeah, how did you create your PRD? And did you ask Taskmaster to help you create it based on like a description, or did you fill out the example PRD? User experience. I'm curious to know. User interface. Yeah, I mean, to me, these don't look core features. There is a target audience thing there, but like, doesn't. I want to. I'm trying to compare them side by side to see what. So you've got key features and requirements as number 3. Yeah, so there's no key feature. So I honestly have no idea. I have no idea what it takes. Like, because that does not look like that, or whatever it is, this one. So who knows? Do you want to proceed now? Let's quickly refactor the remaining components. Okay, cool. Let's get in there. Yeah, it's hard to know who to recommend Claude Code to. Well, certainly Gemini CLI, who to recommend that to. And all that to be said, you've got Warp here, which, yes, you can run Gemini from, but also has its own agent. Why you would choose Gemini Gemini CLI over Cursor, because it's Pro is included in the price. Well, I suppose where are we going now? Here. Yeah, there's no max mode. Max is only on that. So like you can use the unrestricted 2.5 Pro in Cursor. So I wonder what the incentive is to use Gemini 2.5. Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused. Gemini CLI. I mean, open and extensible. Inspect the code and understand how it works. So the CLI is open source, which is really interesting because you've got open code, which is kind of coming out at the moment. Gemini Code Assist. So presumably, I go in here, go new terminal. Gemini, is that how you do it? Gemini. How would I run this? Okay, so it's just an extension. Yeah, I'm just struggling to see why you would need this. Anyway. Yes. Oh. Yes. I really want to get this. To be fair, I have got a. I do prefer to do PID on its own. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I just told it what I want to build and asked it to use the template to do it, basically. So, which is kind of the same thing, really, but. So pretty thorough then. Pretty thorough PRD. Claude Code to the rescue. How long would you say it took once you got your PRD? You said 3 days. How long of literally just it working from it's working through the task? Because you said 3 days for it to do its thing and then understand what it's done. How long does it take for it to do its thing? Because this is marginally quicker, I think, than yesterday. But yesterday was, quite a few hours. Which makes me gravitate towards, Replit and things like that, because they seem to just get it very, very quickly. It's almost like they generate a PRD for you and do all this automatically. There we go. Right. Proceed with next task. It's back onto Taskmaster. Thank you, Claude Code. You are a beast. Would you like to enhance the current strength indicator? Proceed with next task. Around 10 days. No. So you got it to a bit. You said 3 days for Taskmaster to do its thing, but that was do its thing plus you understand the code, but then you got something out in 10 days. or you got it complete in 10 days. But like, how long did it take for Taskmaster to run through all its tasks? Do you want guidance on how to simplicity? Why would I want guidance? Come on, implement the email update form. Or maybe I've got that confused. Yes. Yeah, so again, yesterday we just kind of add it all automatically. Whereas it's asking me if I want to add it. So a little look. Cool. This is the root. So first of all, the password is now disappeared, which is fun. But we are going to be creating the pages. So I think it's just letting us column profiles.email does not exist. Getting the error. Column profiles do not exist in, where are we? App. Email update form. No. Yeah, email update. Oh no, is it just one big old component? It is. That's a little bit annoying and slightly stupid. Profile edit form. So yeah, what's I'm trying to also work out what the best type of project to do. I mean, yeah, it should have broken these out into their own components. Like why put profile edit form? Why put email update form inside a profile edit form? I don't know. Update. Hang on. How to fix? Remove email from the profile data query. Do we even have a profiles database? Like what's profiles? Yeah, we don't even have any email thing. So yeah. Remove email from profiles. Only select name. Yes, this is what we want. Remove it in profile using one point. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, what was going through my head was like, what's the best kind of project to do this on? But you're not gonna use PRDs for like middle of the project. You're gonna kind of do it from the beginning of the project. And I guess the only question is whether you bring it in on I had a Shad CM project already loaded, whether you do it. It didn't seem to care. Like, yeah, it didn't seem to respect that it was a next React project. Didn't seem to respect Shad CN. Hopefully now it is because it can read the rest of the code base. But you can now safely use the form. Dun. Okay. Edit profile, update email, enter a new email address, you receive a verification. Okay, well, I don't want to do that right now, but let's continue with next subtask. And also, all this to be said, it's design is again out the window. Like, it seems like vibe coding is good for your like overall structure and prototype, but there absolutely needs to be a not necessarily hand coded, but like an intentional effort to create the design. And I would probably use Figma MCP for that. But I would go in. You still need to understand the code. You can't vibe code design for sure. Your profile edit form password changing uses schemas direct forms. The next step: review all the forms. Review all the current validation logic. View validation logic. Okay. Test edges. Okay. Cool. Would you like to add password strength? Add password strength. I don't think this is going to take long. Strength. Oh, I just put strength. There we go. Keeps on asking me, so we might as well give it what it wants. I cannot wait to be done with Taskmaster. Like, this is so from a streaming perspective, this must be so boring. Accept all. Let's create a new task just to clear up that context. Proceed with next subtask. Nope. We want to proceed with next subtask of task 28. It keeps wanting to go to 40, but I don't want it to go to 40. Recommended next step: review the profile forms, update forms. Okay. Zod. So we should validation feedback for clear error messages and users. I mean, you've removed all of the password stuff anyway. Would you like a step-by-step implementation plan? What's the hell? Or should I help you log your current progress and find it? Log current progress. So I don't think that used Taskmaster at all. Proceed to next subtask. List out tasks. I want to make sure we're on the right tasks. Cool. 28. Here we go. So 28. So 28.5. Proceed with task 28.5. So what's going on here? Integrate Zod with React Hook form. I don't understand this task. Add comprehensive form validation. I just want you to do the task. Would you like to see? Why would I want to see? Identify target forms. So I'm curious, can we pick up something here? Can we go create Zod validation schemas? So we've already done all of this, look. So that's fine. So maybe we can just do this one. Yeah, cool. Thought so. Implement real-time validation feedback. Let's see what's going on here. See, I have no idea if I'm using this right, to be honest. Like whether I should be doing this. Logs as progress. If you want to enhance the video, you could add icons, forms. What do you mean log this as progress? Log as progress. What is log as progress? Okay, whatever. Log as progress. Log as progress. JSON object. Oh, no, so refresh. Cool. Mark subtask as done and move to next step. Next step is to proceed with 41. Review details and plan 40. Let's get this 40 out the way. This is the one that's been annoying me. Step-by-step plan. Security. Select security scanning tools. Sneak. Alternatives. Trivia. To be honest, on code-based scans. Execute. I don't. Yeah, I really don't care for. What's another task we can do? Let's do task 29. It's still doing Next.js. Why are you doing this? break it down into subtasks. And proceed with first subtask. Let's see what it does. Create permission context role. I don't understand why it's not just doing it. Just discuss role. I want these task lists to be. How do we get that? Pause my PRG. We start with detailed PRD. Can you pause my PRD? PRD. Yeah, see what it does there. Well, that did there, but it's seems to have maybe it parsed my PRD in order to answer this question. But they also help me implement plan next step. What's the next task? So you can actually ask it what's the next one, but it keeps trying to do 40, so that's fine. So can you implement this? Expand. This is cool. Research. So anything you want to research is cool. Yes. Integrate into app. Why would you not want to integrate that in the app? I'm going to try and use the terminology they use. Can you help me implement task 3? What are we on? 29? I'm going to do a sneaky thing here. React router. to fetch map roles organizations from your database. Proceed. Help me implement next subtask. No. Can we use React? We are not using Next.js. Please research an alternative for React Vite. See what it does there. Cool. Yes, full implementation. Don't know what you would do if you didn't if you didn't know anything about this sort of stuff. Oh, sugar. I need to go. Let's get this done. I want some pages. I just want some pages. Yes. And then we'll wrap up. I'll try and come on tomorrow I can't do it tomorrow, but I want to try and come on more often. And I want this app up and running so that we can actually start vibing new features and having a bit more of a quicker sort of turnaround. Yes. Placeholder, because we don't have any. Yeah, this looks good. This looks how I would expect. Yes. Story current matches. What? Come on. Install React Router. What is this? What's going on here? Kill. What is going on? Cannot read. React router DOM install. Make sure I'm not losing my shit, unless we need to do that first. How weird. How very, very strange. I get the error. Okay, cool. Clean cache, just please. Oh, okay. PNPN. Okay, that's why. Do we do this? PNPM run dev. Okay, we're getting 404 not found here, which is lovely. Let's wrap it up there because I've got to go. And I'll understand the code and we will accept all. Master dashboard. Yeah, we'll figure out what's going on here anyway. But we'll pick this up. Hopefully start moving on with something a bit more like fast pace and stuff like that. But yeah, whenever you see me live, I'm still messing around with times and stuff like that. So if you let me know where you are, what time is good for you, and I can try and make it work. I'm probably going to try and go a little bit later the next time we do this. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, cheers for sticking around. And yeah, keep on vibing, baby.